What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dad Bod Pod, a place for men to learn, grow, and live the healthiest life possible. We are your hosts, Jason Priest, Zach Smith, Anthony Hudson, and we are excited for today's episode. We have had a great last 4 or 5 days. It's been fantastic. We're going to share some of those experiences with you and hopefully inspire you to have a fantastic week along the way. So, if you're a brand new listener, highly encourage you to go back and check out some of the prior episodes. We lay out the entire game when it comes to getting healthy, dominating your day for peak performance, and not having to spend half your life focused on strict fad diets or spending half your life in the gym. So the game is laid out. Go check out some of those other episodes. If you get value today, you're going to notice something about our podcast. We do not run ads. I'll touch a little bit on that as well. We respect your time. We know you're listening on the way to work. We know you're listening in the gym. We know you're listening when your time is valuable, and we value that time. So we will never run ads on this podcast. So if you get any value out of this episode, or you've gotten value in the past, the only favor that we ask, the only fee that we ask is you drop us a quick review. Take 10 seconds out of your day and just tell us how we're doing. That's what grows the show. If you guys are getting value, don't you think other guys would be getting value as well? So if the answer to that question is yes, take 10 seconds, drop us a quick review, and you can even request content. If you want us to cover something specifically, drop that in there. We read all those, and that's what helps the show grow, and that's what gets us into the ears of more men who can potentially change their lives by being here. So with all that said, we are excited to talk to you guys today. We have, myself, Zach, and Anthony have been on a business trip, a business conference. For those of you that are in the entrepreneurial space, probably heard of that, the $1 Million Mastermind. Probably saw some of you guys there. I know there are a lot of guys in Apex who listen to this show as well. So we're going to talk about that experience, and as the health and fitness guys, being one of the go-to guys in our space, or go-to companies in our space, we want to let you know what it was like. We want to share our experience because, many of you wonder how we travel and what we do on these kind of trips. So we're here to share it all and give you guys some real shit today. So Zach, Anthony, what's up, guys? I feel like I haven't seen you guys forever.
Yeah, man. What's
About
going on?
24 hours.
Right back to work, huh? Right back to work.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun, man. I felt like today would be a great opportunity because we've got a lot of guys out there who travel often. Even we have a lot of guys in our program right now who are road warriors, right? And that's what we just did. And what I want to share a little bit about my personal experience is that, these kind of opportunities, I view them as completely separate from my normal life. I know, Anthony, you travel more than Zach and I both do, and I wouldn't imagine you go into every trip with the same mentality as this, but this is a special occasion, right? This is our first time to be together as a company, all three of us, and I feel like a lot of guys out there will benefit from being able to create this discipline, this separation, if you will, between times like this and then times when you're normally dialed in. So I think we get a little bit into that, and then as you heard in the intro, I talked about the advertising piece. Like, we've been approached by ad companies. I might have touched on this last podcast, but we've been approached by companies to run ads on our show, and we refuse to do that. We respect you guys' time way too much to do so. And so we're going to get into some stuff today that hopefully will inspire you and hopefully take some of the pressure and the overwhelm of trying to live your life in such a perfect way. So we'll kind of start it off by, when Zach, when you got here, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but like when you got here on Wednesday, it had been like 2.5 years, all right, since you had a beer, and that streak kept going through Wednesday. I didn't know what we were getting into, and so I was like, I'm gonna drink a couple beers in front of Zach. And Anthony, I know he already said he's gonna have a beer, so we'll meet up with him, and I'll be 2 in and ready for the night. So let's start there, man. And let me just ask you this: how was your time in Texas, dude? What did you think about Dallas?
Dude, Texas is always awesome, man. Growing up, I used to watch Food Network shows about barbecuing, and it was always competitions in Texas. And I'm like, dude, one day when I grow up, I'm going there, and I'm going to have me some brisket and steaks and all that stuff. And I'm just glad that when I did go there, it held up to the expectation. This is my 3rd time going there, and the barbecue is always awesome. Got to meet you guys, had the business mastermind. Literally, it was great all around, man. It was great all around.
I had a lot of fun.
It's always a good time. Texas is always a good time.
And so let's kind of talk about the nutrition approach, right? So when
nutrition?
Yeah. Like, and this is the thing, right? So when I first picked you up, I think you might have asked me something about, like you were hungry at the time. What time did I pick you up? Like around noon or some shit, right? Like
11:30.
Yeah. And you're like, you were hungry, and you're like, you do that intermittent fasting shit, right? You're probably not going to eat for a while. I'm like, bro, that stuff's off the table, right? Like, this is completely separate from the normal Jason lifestyle. And I was already ready for a beer. It was noon. I was like, let's start this party early. Let's get this stuff going. I'm excited. We already had we had some content planned out. So you met, and like, we went straight for the barbecue, and we've got all the pictures. We'll post these on social, try to put together like a little mastermind portfolio of nutrition of, like, you know, maybe take like the 7 or 8 pictures that I have of all of our meals. There was not a healthy meal eaten, guys. Like, I shouldn't say that. Like, there's a couple days at lunch where I got the salmon and or the trout, but then polished off with peanut butter pie or fucking bread pudding, right? So when we talk health, like, you know, just because it has salmon in the title, don't think that this is like, I just couldn't eat 7 burgers in a row. I did 4, couldn't go 7, so had to go a little bit different. But when you guys, so let's get into that. When you guys go into, I know these are rare circumstances, but this is kind of my approach. Like, if I go see family in San Antonio, I don't go into the weekend thinking I'm going to try to be healthy. I'm like, I'm going to see family. I'm going to let loose, and I'm not even going to let nutrition really filter into my mind. And so what is your approach? And Anthony, it's a good one for you too, because you travel for business as well. I really don't. And so how do you separate like a time like this from a time where, shit, like, I know it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle because I'm sure you eat out at some of those trips, but like, where do you draw the line, and how does that work in your life?
You know, I've gone back and forth with this a few times. This is why we work hard during the week, and why we, why we're disciplined in our regular routine, right? So that when we do travel, we can just indulge and not have to worry about it and think about it, and know that, like you said earlier, we'll get right back into our routine when we get back. And maybe we put on, I haven't jumped on the scale yet. I don't know if you guys have, and the scale's not everything.
Check tomorrow.
But, you know, check tomorrow. Like, just to kind of see like how much water we retained and if we're bloated and some of that. Cause I'm telling you, like, I could not suck my stomach in if I wanted to right now. And that's okay.
I'm with you,
but
it's a little
we'll get right back into our routine. Yeah. We'll get right back into it, and we'll get right back into our routine, and whatever happened the last few days is going to shrink out. And I used to be even more like, if I'm super dialed in, one of my rules of thumb, even when traveling, is never have 2 bad meals in a row, right? Sure. Similar to, like, you know, never skip Mondays on your workout, right? Kind of similar to that approach too. So I'm not saying you have to go that hard with it, but that's really helped me. Okay, so if I'm having a burger and fries for dinner, then my next meal the next day is going to be something healthier that that I can feel better about, and they'll make me feel better too, right? So that's kind of an approach I take when traveling, and sometimes when I'm at home as well. But you can't, like, traveling's tough. Like, you can plan ahead a little bit, but, you know, if you're a part of, you know, if you're doing it for business or everybody else, like, there's peer pressure involved. Hey, we want to go to this restaurant, but I want to go to this restaurant. You want to be with other certain people. Like, so it's so hard, right? So what we teach and what we focus on is not worrying about so much. Like, don't beat yourself up if you have, like, and we did not. Like, at first I was like, I shouldn't, I didn't get dessert that first day. Jason's like ordering dessert. I'm like, well, damn, maybe I should order dessert. What was I thinking, right? So we had dessert the rest of the time. So we did. And I was like, and that's just not normally something we do when we go out to eat. Sometimes we let the girls get dessert, but it's not a normal occurrence for us. But to open my eyes up to, hell, and part of this mastermind as well, like, freedom, free man, live on our own terms, like
100%.
Screw it. I want the damn dessert. Like, I'm going to live every single day like it's my best day. Right? Why does 100%. Every day can be your best day. Do what the heck you want. I want some dessert. I'm going to have dessert. I don't always want dessert.
Of course, because you know the aftermath, right?
That's right.
I love that you went there, because I think, you know, one thing I want to touch on is your every other meal. Like, I'm thinking in my mind, if you go on business and say there's somebody right now that is struggling with their weight, right? Like, maybe you're 40, 50, 80 pounds overweight, and you're like, dude, I need to get healthy. But you travel a lot. You're like, how am I going to get this right? Like, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to a grocery store while everybody else is going out to eat. How do I fix this? And when you were talking about it, like, if your normal pattern right now is when you go on business, you go out and you just binge eat on shitty stuff all the time because that's what's available and that's where everybody's going. Well, you go to Chili's and On the Border and Olive Garden, or even some higher end stuff. You do that 5 or 6 times in a row, you're going to feel like total ass. And so with somebody with the pattern that you just talked about, is like, even if somebody that's really unhealthy and has piss poor eating habits right now, and they started doing an every other, Like, think about how much better you're going to feel just by that one change, right? You're not going to go do 10 meals on a 4-day trip that are all shit. Maybe you're only going to do 5, but those other 5 are going to be some real, at least semi-nutritious foods. They're going to make you feel a little bit better. The other side of that is, this is what I want to ask you, both of you guys. It's like, with your normal mentality, we go into the week, we're like, it's time to dial it in, especially on Mondays, right? You already know it's time to be healthy. This is my week. We're very extreme. All of us are very extremely disciplined Monday through Friday. Now we even sucked Zach in for like the Friday, Saturday thing right now. It's like, am I going to buy some beer this weekend? No, but with that
Speaking
said,
about peer pressure.
yeah. And that's why I want to talk about the peer pressure, because did you guys feel like there was a moment, and I don't know exactly what meal, Anthony, maybe it was for you, it was the peanut butter pie, but I felt the shift. Like, after I saw us all eat a couple meals, I was like, all right, now it's becoming more of like a competition. Like, how much can I abuse my body before these guys leave, right? That's like, how much can I just completely destroy my gut before these guys get out of town? So did you guys ever feel a shift like that? Because I was like, the pie, the bread pudding, those aren't normal things, but I'm fucking doing it,
Yeah.
So did you guys feel that? It's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna eat whatever the hell I want.
It was absolutely.
Because Anthony, you talked about a salad one time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a competition for me. It was
I get it, but like internally, you're like, what can
I just have a switch, dude. Like, I have a switch. You asked about how Anthony does it when he has like trips. And before, when I was still in the corporate world, when I had business trips, I treated it as such. It was still business as usual, right?
Sure.
But when it's leisurely, now look, this was technically a business trip for us, right, guys? But dude, come on, Nebraska, Texas, Nevada, come on. This is our first time we've seen each other. So even though it was a business trip, we treated it like a leisure trip as well, right? And that's why we did what we did.
Basically, what it was.
When I flipped that, and not to say we didn't get a lot out of it, because we absolutely did, but dude, when it was time to go, man, it's time to go. I have a switch. All right. Once I turn that thing off, man, we just going hard. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do. And it wasn't that I was trying to purposely destroy my body, but I was absolutely not giving a damn what I ate. I'll tell you that. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. Just kind of like you talked about, living free, living in the moment, right? Now, we're not trying to give an excuse for people to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to listen to them and just eat like an ass and just become obese. No. We're not talking about that. We're talking about being able to understand the difference between a leisurely trip and a business one. You have to know when to turn that switch on and off.
That, though, if guys listen to us, right? Like, if you see any 3 of us at the end of next week, we're all probably pretty confident to take our shirt off at that point. And if you want to live like that, take the fucking advice, right? Live life to the fullest when it's time to do that. But there's a time and a place for a burger and a beer. Like, I talk about it all the time. I ain't eating that shit on a Tuesday when I know that I got leg day on Wednesday, and then I'm going to go and feel like ass during my workout. You start fueling your body for performance. You start to love the feeling when you're operating on all cylinders, right? Those are the times, like the Monday through Friday, when we're fueling our bodies like Lamborghinis. One could argue that we fueled our bodies like a fucking 87 Pinto or like an 87 Civic that's run like that has like 400,000 miles on it. That's what I feel like right now, but that's not the norm. And I think a lot of guys out there, they want the food, but like, if you can get addicted to the feeling of when you're truly fueling your body, that is going to supersede your desire for a burger every single time. When you're waking up every day, you've got soaring energy levels and you're performing powerfully and consistently every day. You know you're going to wake up and feel like you can take on the day. You want to dominate your day. A lot of that comes back to the things that you're putting into your mouth. And when you can create this divide, this separation between leisure and all business, or when you like with Anthony, when he's traveling midweek, he's not eating bread pudding on a Wednesday night, And so that's where I think it's hard, but it becomes very simple to live life on your terms, especially when it comes to food. Because in this country, we like to make everything a celebration. Like Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, those aren't celebrations for me. Like, those are part of me operating on all cylinders. And so I think that's one of the biggest challenges a lot of guys have, is like, where do I create that divide? How can I have that? How can I have my cake and eat it too? And we're giving you guys the solution right here.
Well, I'm glad you went there too, because it was something that we talked about when me and Anthony met that individual. He was from New York, and he was talking about how he was talking to us like, wow, you guys are in great shape. Like, I want to get like that. What do I do? Give me some tips, this or that. But besides, that's not the point. The point was, he was talking about how he was feeling to me, and he was feeling like crap, like low energy.
Sucks.
His sleep was terrible. His eating habits were bad. Of course, eating the good foods feels good in the moment, but afterwards you pay for it, right? You feel lethargic. You feel like crap. You feel bogged down. And to him, what's amazing is that was normal for him. That was
That's right.
normalcy. So what people fail to realize is that is not the way life is meant to be lived, you know.
No.
But they're just so used to it. It's kind of like you when you gain weight, like you don't realize how much weight you're gaining over the course of time because you see yourself every single day. So these small incremental changes, you don't realize it until all of a sudden you're 100 pounds overweight, right? And that was the same thing for him. He felt like crap a little more every single day to the point where crap was his life standard.
Becomes your normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes
And
your
I
normal.
love that
the
you brought
difference.
that up because your body will adjust to anything that you do to it. The body is an amazing machine. And that's why you start to it starts to compensate when you start to get higher blood sugars, right? It does everything it can to fight that process. It's going to do everything it can to fight things, but it's also going to get used to things. I was walking into the kitchen this morning, like bloated, not feeling good. I'm like, damn, I need to shave my chest too because I look like a hairy ape with this fat gut, dude. Just farting it up, just disrespectful to my wife. Like, she's like, what did you eat the last 4 days? Like, our
Everything.
whole room stinks. Like, dude,
Whatever I
just
want.
leave me alone.
Mhm.
But I'm going to the kitchen to get my coffee this morning, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this feeling right now, if I could just get used to it, I could easily be a fat guy again. I could easily let myself go down that path again. But like mentally, I'm not willing to go there. Mentally, I have that shut off, dude. And like your body gets used to the way that it feels when it feels really good, but it also gets used to the way it feels when it feels like shit.
Yep.
And it becomes, like you said, Zach, it becomes your normal. You wake up every day expecting to feel like that. How would you like to wake up every day expecting to feel like your best version, the 25-year-old version of yourself, when you're in peak shape, you're kicking ass, you got testosterone levels out the wazoo, and you're like ready to get up and go. That feeling is so far in the past for a lot of people, a lot of guys especially, that they don't know how good their body is designed to feel. And if you can just show them that, if you can just let them have a little taste of that, that is where that's what I became addicted to, man. Like I have some addictions. We know this, but I have a really good addiction.
Yep, we talked about that too. Yeah.
To feeling my best every day is why I'm so driven to do the things that I don't really want to do in those moments when I don't want to do them the most. Right? That's it.
I think too, like all that stuff. Absolutely. Here's something that I've focused on. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys do this. So let's say Thanksgiving or holidays, you go and you're just going to eat until you're absolutely miserable, right? And then when there's problems is when people think that should be normal. Like people are eating way past satisfied. They're eating to the point of gorging themselves. And
on a Wednesday
at some point that becomes on a Wednesday night, even for lunch. And then if you're working, if you're absolutely just gorging yourself for what you want to nap, you're not going to be productive the rest of the day. You're probably not going to be productive the rest of the week. Right. So I think I was there for a while. I would just eat complete, like miserable. Like, I don't know why, because I thought it was normal. And that's the crazy part. Like that doesn't have to be your normal, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't realize how good you can have it just eating till you're satisfied. You're going to feel a heck of a lot better, and your energy level is not going to dip near as much, right? You're not going to gorge yourself. So I think that's a huge problem. That was an issue for me for a while. Like, I didn't even realize it.
And we all fall victim to that, dude. I want to add to that. Like, it's a culture problem in America.
That's right.
Everything that we see, everything that we taught in our subconscious, like, Dad, this is the way to do it. This is how to be American. But it's like, dude, no, it's not. But it doesn't even matter because we're all of different ethnicities here, but we still fall victim to the same mentality. So what does that tell me? It's not a ethnicity thing. It's a culture problem. And here specifically in America, I can't speak for everywhere else, but that's what we're designed to feel like. They set it up in a way that when it leads up to Thanksgiving, you feel like you're supposed to eat until you feel miserable and stuffed and you can't move and you need to sleep.
It's the expectation.
Like that's like the social norm. That's what's acceptable. That's almost the standard. And that's the reason why our country has an issue, right?
It's what's expected. Like, you're not going
to
go back for thirds on Thanksgiving.
Like dessert after dinner is expected.
You're not going to eat 3 desserts on Christmas.
To make
it's the
more.
celebration. It's just celebration standard when it comes to food. Like, we've got to celebrate every time we've got to eat. And you know what's ironic about that is anytime people refer to our standard, the fucking acronym is SAD, right? It's sad that it's the standard American diet. Like, that's what we've become, is sad. You know, like, that's kind of shitty. I don't want to be known as sad. I want to be known as way better than sad. And that's the state that our nation is in right now. It's disgusting. And when you go back, like Anthony, to your point, when people start to realize that you know, when you're fueling your body for performance and you start to feel really good, like you started to get almost addicted to that bad feeling. It's like it's supposed to be that way. Because I remember when I was at my worst, I was going to a place called Tia's. All right, I would get a dozen tortillas, eat the entire dozen tortillas with queso, and then
that's a lot.
fajitas with another 3 or 4 tortillas for my lunch, and then go back to work at Costco, like wondering why I could barely stay awake at 3 p.m. Right? I mean, gut hanging over the khakis while I'm checking out people's fucking photos in the photo lab. Right? Like, not okay. And that's what I'm used to. And it sounds like you experience that same thing. It's like you almost get used to that feeling. It's like, I'm supposed to feel this way. I need to keep overeating, right? And then you get the boobs and the gut.
Right.
And all that shit. I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to.
Well, you know what made me feel like this weekend, and it's funny because Zach got a picture of it, right? We went back after eating a massive lunch,
you fell asleep.
having a couple beers, some dessert, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel terrible. The only thing I can do to fix this, I'm exhausted, is I think like sleep. And I was desperately trying not to fall asleep during this mastermind and this talk, right? And I caught myself dozing off. I'm like, oh my God.
The old Anthony.
Pathetic for one, and the old me. I was me every day. Like, so I'm like, oh, I never want to do that. Like, you know, it just brings you back. Like, I never want that to happen again, right? That's not efficient, right? So sometimes we need those reminders. That's okay.
And they're good to have.
Sometimes we need that every once in a while. Right.
Not condoning you to go out
funny,
and
but I was
eat and drink for 3 days, but that's a good little reminder. Like, hey, I don't want to go back there, right? I don't want to be Fat Anthony again, and I also don't want to go into the week like total feeling like shit every week, right? And so
that's right.
I think this was a great episode. There's a lot of little nuggets dropped in here. I had a fantastic time with you guys, man. And like, look, the next time we go, we've already called Vegas. Zach's like not thrilled about that, but we'll figure it out. But I'm going to do the same damn thing. Maybe that'll be the next time I need that reminder. Like, hey, gut check here. No pun intended, but your gut's going to be checked. Right. So I think it was awesome, dude. I learned a lot of things. I talked to my wife a little bit about this, and I haven't had a chance to talk to her on a deeper level about it, but the relationship stuff really helped me. And we can kind of wrap it up with that. But one thing that I really got a valuable lesson from Sean was holding space. And I'm not good at that for my wife. And I want to be there more for her. You know, we can maybe do another episode and talk about some of the deeper lessons that we learned. But dude, that was one of the nuggets that I took away that I think is going to help me most. I know that at the end of the day, the only way that I'm going to continue to grow into the role that I believe I'm growing into is her being completely aligned and being on my side. Like, I know that we're going to take this company somewhere very special, and I need her there to be my rock. And I want to communicate. I want to be a better communicator with my wife. And so the relationship was pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys paid much attention to that. Saxony was awesome. I didn't know her.
I did.
Now I do. She added a lot of value.
Yeah, I was just going to say it was a business mastermind, but we also came away with a lot of nuggets for a relationship, which, to their point, if your relationship sucks, if your relationship sucks, you're not going to be good in business because you're going to be dealing with relationship stuff all the time, right? Yeah. And so you gotta take care of that too. Sometimes probably first, honestly, before business, right? Family and relationship comes first. So good 100%.
Stuff. 100%. And that's, they're kind of like our 4 pillars, right? They all work synergistically. Like that. You got to have synergy in all for you to become the elite version of yourself, the most elite. Shout out to Timothy Wynn for taking the sleeping picture of Anthony, but we got you back, dude. We got you back.
Yes, we did.
Got you back.
So, this has been an awesome episode. I hope you guys got value today. If you did, again, take 10 seconds, just drop us a quick review. And if you're ready to become the most elite version of yourself, you want to work alongside of us, you want to figure out what it's like to partner with us inside of Unleash Your Legacy. You're ready to unleash your legacy and be surrounded by 3 dudes who care more than most out there. Click the link in the bio, or click the link in the show notes. Sorry, I'm used to saying bio. Click the link in the show notes. Grab a spot on our calendar, 15-minute call with myself, Zach, Anthony. One of us will hop on the phone with you. Just talk about it. See if you'd even be a good match. This is not a sales call. This is just, hey, here's what it would look like. Can we even help you, right? Like if you have a toxic home life and your partner's not on board with you getting healthy, then we're probably not your guys. But if you're ready, you're all in, you're like, you know what? I need those guys in my life to really take my health to the next level. Click the link in the show notes now. and either come join our free group, or there's a link there for you to go ahead and book a call. Go book your call right now. We'd be more than happy to talk to you and see if we can help you work towards becoming the most elite version of yourself. You guys crush it this week. Remember, today is Momentum Monday. Dominate your week. Don't procrastinate. Start taking massive action now. And we'll see you guys next week. You guys, anything else you want to add before we close shop today?
You know, I'll just say real quick, like we touched upon earlier in the episode, man, so everybody knows without bad, there can be no good. It's relative, right? So it's the same thing like we talked about with the individual from New York, man. Without ever feeling healthy, you don't realize that you're feeling unhealthy. So
I agree.
We want you guys need to get to the point where when we were eating like crap, even though it was leisurely, we ate so crappy that we felt bad to the point that we wanted to eat healthy again during our leisurely time, right? We want you guys to get to the point where you are so addicted to the feeling of feeling great and feeling healthy that
dude.
You want to actually never get back to where you were again. We don't want feeling healthy to be so far of a distant memory that you don't remember what it's like. So you're just looking forward to that next good feeling of eating that cookie.
Yep.
We want you guys feeling great and feeling good, just like how like we felt like crap. We want you guys feeling so good that you don't want to feel like crap again, man. So that's all I want to say, man. Just we want you to start feeling healthy, man. That's it. Plain and simple.
And I'll just add this onto that too, is like you went there, so I'll just finish it off with this. It's like a lot of the guys that we work with, they start wanting less and less of the foods that got them into our community, right? They still love them. They still want to have that occasional burger. They still want to have that pizza, but they start to become addicted to the feeling of feeling good. And when you have that in your life, when you feel, when you wake up every day with soaring energy levels because of the things that you're doing for your body, not to your body. What we did this week was to our body. When you start flip it, you start doing things for your body, it's just going to change your whole outlook on life. And to Zach's point, that's exactly where we want you. So grab a spot on our calendar, come join our group. There's no reason for any of you guys listening right now to not be in our Facebook group and be getting our free weekly live stream every Wednesday night. Come get that value. We want you in our circle more so we can help you become the best version of you. So you guys crush it this week. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.